Hi, today I wanted to come up here and talk about bullies. Okay? Specifically adult bullies because I'm an adult now, right? But um, to be honest, I've been bullied my whole entire life. From school to work to church, okay? I must look like an easy target. But at school, um, like in elementary school, I was too dark. Now I'm dark skinned, obviously, and I've been this skin tone my whole entire life. So I know what it's like to feel the pressures of being a dark skinned child, a dark skinned teenager, and the pressures of being a dark skinned woman. It's changed as I grew into womanhood because now I get praised for having dark skin. I get praised for having a thick or full lips. I get praised for my cheeks. But back in the day, in school, I wasn't praised for it. I was made fun of it, right? I was bullied because of it. So in school, like elementary, I was bullied because I was so dark skinned. And the thing is, I don't recall me being the darkest person in school. And I went to school in Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't remember being the darkest person in school, but I was always made fun of, bullied because I was dark skinned, right? So I must have had the grace of God on me, and I still do bleed it. Because I never went home and cried about it. And when I say never, I mean never cried about it. I always internalized it, even as a young girl, and just kept it moving. I was always aware of how dark skinned I was compared to other black kids, because they always made me aware of it. They always would tell me, "You're dark." I'm laughing about it now, but I won't laugh at it. You're dark, or you're too black, or you're black as midnight, or like just jokes on jokes, right? And I just kept it moving. So then you move into middle school. I went to middle school in Cary, North Carolina. I don't remember getting any dark skin jokes then. I just was. I know I was a dark skinned child, but I really don't recall getting dark skin jokes then. But I got bullied because by that point I wasn't black enough. Now the bullying really exacerbated itself in high school. But what other black kids would say is, Precious isn't black enough because she sounds like a white girl. She dresses like a white girl. She doesn't hang out with any black people, which is not the truth because I had black girlfriends. And the black girlfriends that I had were the prettiest black girls in my grade. And those black girls were like the military ball princess or the homecoming queen princess girls, right? The thing is, and I went to school in Johnston County in North Carolina. The thing is, I never went to school with any cousins. I never went to school with any sisters or siblings. Um, by that time, I was in high school, so I didn't have anyone that I was cool enough that was black enough for other black kids to be like, "Oh, she's cool. She's dark skinned, but she's cool." So in high school, it was, I had bubblicious lips. This is so funny to me because I get praised for having these lips. But in school, high school, she got bubblicious lips. Even my sister, I have an older sister who she bullied me at home. She never liked me, but she would always make fun of my lips. Why are your lips two-toned? Why are your lips not completely brown? When I tell you, girl, as an adult woman, I can't tell you how many men are like, "Wow, you have the prettiest," is disgusting, but "you have the prettiest mouth I've ever seen," or "you have two-toned lips, like you stand out. Your lips are the first thing I've noticed about you." This is not one man, this is multiple men in my life, black, white, no matter what, Asian, Korean. That is just something I've always been told as an adult woman. It's just like, your lips do something to me, and it's disgusting when I hear it. But anyways, so I had bubblicious lips in high school. I was too black in high school, too dark. I was made fun of. So back in the day, there was this supermodel named Alec Weck who obviously was from the continent of Africa. But she was a supermodel, and I was compared to that girl because that was the only prominent dark-skinned black girl really in the model media. You had Naomi Campbell, but I was no Naomi Campbell to these people. And the thing is, the people that would make fun of me were other black people, other black kids, honey. And I never understood it. I never did. And so, how I was raised, where I was brought up at, my family was usually like the only black family, and I was taught to dress a certain way, to bring in certain grades into the household, or I was gonna get beat, right? So I was in AP classes, college prep classes, and in that environment, you're not gonna be around a lot of other black kids. So the other black kids I was around was those black pretty girls, right? So I was just hanging around them because the other black people didn't want to talk to me, which was very weird. I did have one or two black girlfriends though who just ignored the bullying that happened to me, ignored the rumors, because there was always rumors going around like she thinks she white, she act white, and it's just like, I'm really just being me. I mean, it's not my fault that you think the right way to be black is to be ghetto. The only right way to be black is if you wear Air Force Ones all day long, you wear baggy jeans all day long, or whatever. So anyways, and fast forward to I graduated and I stunted on these niggas, period, every day of my life. And the thing is, I always thought I was going to be a beautiful girl. Always did, and I always was told I was beautiful. So outside of school, in the home environment, when other people would see me that were like around my mom and my dad or strangers, it's just funny, I would always get complimented on my complexion, how solid or clear it looks, just how beautiful I am. But in school, in a school environment, I was always bullied for it. So then fast forward into adulthood, it was literally day and night. I went into the military at 17. I started dating really around 17, 18. But when I started dating black men, it was, you're chocolate. You're a baddie. What country are you from? You're not from the U.S. Like, are you from Panama? You from the Dominican Republic? Where are you from? Are you from Africa? And if you are, what country? Because you are not American. You are very exotic looking. And it wasn't even only coming from black men. It would come from white women would tell me this. Just all these other races just thought that I was not completely black. And I am. Well, I mean, I'm black, but like, they just thought that I had to be mixed with something else to be this beautiful to them, right? So anyway, so fast forward into adulthood, it was, you're chocolate and you are beautiful. I really would drink your bath water. You stand out. You are the type of black girl I would date because you carry yourself like a queen. You're polished, all that, right? And it went to a point where it wasn't just black men, it was white men telling me this, Hispanic men, Asian men. It was a point in my life where, I don't want to say I elevated so much, but I got to a point where no one that was my skin tone, that was black, was trying to check for me. It was always light-skinned black men, like super, super light, who would be the epitome of a light-skinned guy, It was Asian guys trying to date me, white men, not white men who thought they was black. It was the whitest brothers trying to date me. So I from that day to night switch from graduating at 17 to becoming a woman as a 18, 19-year-old, it was like, I'm beautiful. And I always thought I was, but the bullies would try to make you think that you're not. So anyways, so when you believe how beautiful you are, you carry yourself a certain type of way, you take care of yourself, you will then start to gain bullies in another way. And for me, it was Mean Girls. So as an adult. So I am a Christian woman. I always have believed in Jesus Christ. I've been saved since I was 8 years old. So when I would move around, I would always look for a church home, right? And the way that I present myself, I always present classy. I would always wear a nice a nice suit or a nice skirt set or high heels, a nice purse, and I'm smelling good. My hair is laid, my face is laid, and I got a Bible in my hands when I walk through the sanctuary, right? So what a person would not see is a man. They would not see a child. They would see a single woman that looks like she's doing her thug dizzle, right? So I got a lot of hate from other women in the church, which is very weird to me, because I would think if you were to see somebody that looks like she's on her P's and Q's, why not try to introduce yourself? Why not try to get to know them? But instead, I would get hate. So in that environment, you can't really call it bullying, but I would call it ostracized. Other women would like turn their back on me. They would not talk to me. They would not like be friendly. And you would think you're going into the church house to meet fellow Christians, to assembly with other Christians, and they are the meanest people that you met in your adult life. I'm gonna let God handle that. But anyway, so, and even in that environment, I would tell you, I was, in my mind, being bullied because I was ostracized for being a cute girl, for only coming here, not checking for nobody's man, but trying to check for the Lord and sing praises to the Lord, and you don't want to be my friend because you feel insecure about me. You think I want your man. Honey, you are bad built. Okay? Take that to God. Leave me out of that, okay? Your man's not checking for me either. Anyway, so I've been in environments where either those church environments where either those women either came around years later or they never did. And I feel like you can kick rocks. That's between you and God. That has nothing to do with me. Get your life together physically, and you won't have to be worried about a baddie walking through. Anyways, so as an adult, that is my church story of bullying, ostracized. But I also have been ostracized and bullied in the work center. And to a point where it really, really affected my mental health. So in the work center, how it worked out is, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but if I carry myself a certain type of way outside of work, it's not going to change at work because I'm in a military uniform. I'm going to have the sharpest uniform. I'm always going to be smelling good. I'm going to be the baddest. And guess what? I'm not going to rely on my looks. I'm also going to be the hardest worker. So those two combined got me hated on so much. So much. A lot of times when I would go into the work center, other girls could not stand me. And whether I was their supervisor or either a direct competitor for competition, as in like promotion, or just somebody that was supposed to be their peer, either it was the pretty girl who was just as pretty, who didn't want me around because I would take attention from her. And I'm not even trying to take attention. I'm here to work, clearly. Or either it was the other girl who looked like the back of a bus. And I have nothing to do with that. If you want some beauty tips, you can clearly come ask me. And there was plenty of women who wanted me to do their makeup, who wanted me to style their hair or help them with something physically. And I did. And I had no problem with it. But there were so many who did not want my help, but you can tell they was checking for me because they would always stare at me. To me, that's a form of bullying. If you can't keep your eyes off me and you know I'm not a gay person, what is you checking for? You're not my mama. You're not in no supervisory chain. Why are you staring at me, honey? Sorry. Go check yourself. Go pull out a mirror and stop trying to level up by watching me. You know, like, if you have any questions, come introduce yourself to me. Don't be a hater. Don't be checking for me and then like to somebody else when I walk by, or when you see that I'm in the same environment as you and you think it's cute. I think it's, you have a lot of hurt, and when you see a baddie or you see someone on their grind, it affects that person. And to me, that is a form of bullying. Like, if you can't be nice to somebody, if you can't say hello, you can't smile in their direction, and they are doing all these to you, and you can't take it, like you can't come out of yourself and do it back, you need some counseling. You need therapy, okay? So anyways, I want to say that it didn't only happen because of women. There's men out there who will bully you and hate on you in the work environment as well. When people see that you are a popular person, as in like, even though I've been bullied before at work, I feel like I am a very liked person because I have a great personality. I'm not just saying that, but I do. I'm very funny. I'm very honest. I'm very blunt. And a lot of people like to be around me because I'm going to tell you the truth. So that makes me kind of popular in a work center too, for like a no nonsense person, but she will deliver it a certain way where I'm not trying to hurt your feelings either. So, anyways, I've picked up on how a man in my life at work can see that as a threat, because I'm not your fellow good old boy, but I'm somebody that's operating on your level, but I'm attractive. That is a threat to a lot of men at work, and I don't know why, because I think we could be a duo that is handling business and taking care of business, but instead a lot of men see that as you're too pretty. You're someone that it looks like you value your looks. Are you going to be good at the work, at the job? And the thing is, they find out I'm better than them. And I've had where men have judged me instantly. You can tell they were bothered by how I presented myself. And I don't do anything extra, but I am going to be feminine, even in a uniform. And I know a lot of men think there's no difference between a man and a woman in uniform, but there is. That's why there's standards in dress and appearance, specifically for us different sexes, right? So if you get mad at that, take that up to the Lord, because it has nothing to do with me, okay? But anyways, I have been judged off of being an attractive female in position of power, and I've had barriers placed against me, like, well, is she pretty? Well, not is she pretty. Is she good enough to do the job? Because it's obvious that she's pretty, but can I trust her? Is she going to actually only action her looks, or is she going to be about that business, stand on it? And I'm about all of that, period. And I feel like I didn't have to show myself, but essentially I did, in order for them to build trust in me. So I feel like that's another example of being bullied. Like, if I was a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes with this personality and this business mindset, you would have been all over my balls and my dick. But I come through looking like this, you don't know what to do with it, right? And I just had men, you can tell, like, I usually don't, when I can pick up on someone's energy and they're being hateful or bullyish, how I am confirmed in it is I try to talk to them, try to engage in some conversation. If they feel like they can't look me in my eyes when I talk to them, you're a hater. You're jealous over something. Or maybe you think I'll see through your soul. Either way, I'm here about snatching souls, because if you got a problem, go check yourself, okay? Or number two, if they, like I said before, if they're constantly staring at you and they think that you don't see them, and I have eyes in the back of my head and eyes like this, peripheral vision. If I see someone, especially a man, if I see a man staring at me and like it's a look of disgust, it's a look of she thinks she's all that, because really that's where that disgust comes from. Like, she in her bag. She looked good. You can't knock her physically. She has a personality. She's well liked. She's about her business. Why would someone be looking at me in disgust? Specifically, a person of the opposite sex, if they weren't jealous. So anyway, so with me being, having to deal with that as an adult, with me being bullied my whole entire life, it has made me really be in tune with myself, to know that my company is the best company, to know that essentially I don't need any relationships, any partnerships with people who are going to see me as competition. I don't need to be around people who don't want anything good for me. And the thing is, some people do come around. Some people do, after a year or 6 months, 3 months, realize you're worth your salt, or realize you're not here to steal my man. You're here to be watered by the word. I will never forget the way that you looked at me. I will never forget the way that you treat me. I can maybe be cordial with you, but I'll never forget. Okay? So maybe this is like my story of being bullied or whatnot, but how I deal with those bullies is I ignore it. This is something that came very natural to me as a child. What was I going to do? Was I going to pick back at these people? No, because I'm not that type of person. Like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care about where you come from. I accept you for who you are, you know? So why would I make fun of somebody because they're dark skinned, right? I would never do that. But really, I could come for the jugular because the people that would come for me were always broke, busted, disgusted, and crusted over like cornbread. Okay? So they really was never on my level. But I let that be because I realized you have to elevate, you have to rise against and above the trouble, right? And above the drama. And that's what I always did. And that's on my mama, okay? And then lastly, how I deal with it is I stunt and make them gag. I will never not be myself. I will never not present the way I want to present, and I will never dull the down myself, and I will never dull the jewels in my crown just because someone's going to talk about me. Keep talking, okay? That's how I really feel. So that's how I can hold my head up high, how I can continue going on about my business and act like they don't exist. And I realize when you do that, they're still going to talk anyways. They're still going to bully you anyways. So why would I ever stop doing me? Why would I ever stop being me? I'm not going to. So that's how I deal with adult bullies. Even like I said, men, is disgusting when men act like that towards me. But if you're not me, I understand why you hating at work. Okay? Get on my level. Okay? And if you're a hater woman, like, take that to Jesus, G-O-D, or get on the internet and find out what's going to work for you. And stop trying to check me, boo, because who going to check me, okay? Anyways, so that's my story of adult bullies, how to deal with it, how to move on with your life, and just keep it moving.